Hey, it's me, MLB. We've reached chapter 100 of Rapid Fate Online, and this one's titled Just in Time. You flopped back on the bed and grinned at the ceiling. Actually married to Amajiki Tamaki? Whoa. Your mind started to create your future together as you closed your eyes and slowly drifted off to sleep. The next morning you were up and early, ready for school. Well, actually, you were more excited to see Tamaki than anything else. You practically floated to school and beelined for his locker before getting to your own, and were elated to find him there. "Hi!" you sang with a big smile, skipping up to him and hugging him around the waist. He blushed and gave you a small smile, turning to hug you in return. You didn't care that there were other students milling around. To you, you were the only people in the room, and you focused on him, doing your best to refrain from giving him a passionate kiss right there and then. Before you could say anything else, though, the bell rang and your attention wavered for a second. "Oh, I have to get ready. See you in class?" He nodded shyly and hung his head as you turned and ran quickly to your locker. Glancing down at a piece of paper in his hand, he read the lunch break time of the jewellery store and closed his hand over. "I have 10 minutes to get there from when my lunch break at school starts, and the lunch break starts for them." Classes were as boring as always, except for the part where you were given an application sheet to apply for new graduates at local agencies, and you excitedly looked down the list. "I wonder who Tamaki's going to request. I should try and get in with him." You looked over the names that were offering places. "Ooh, Hawks is an option. Nah, I don't think he would accept me. Or maybe Gang Orca?" "You will all be given the opportunity to request your desired placements later today, so consider your options throughout the day," your teacher said. You looked up at him, then back down at the paper. "I'll ask Jiki at lunch today which agency he's going to go with." The second that the bell rang for lunch, you stood up and ready to walk over to Tamaki's desk, but your bestie got to you first. "Yo, you thought about who you want to work with?" she asked. No, well, kinda. I wanted to see where Jiki was going to work." You looked across to his desk, but he'd disappeared, and you stopped your sentence to look for him. "What?" she asked, looking around with you. "Where did Tamaki go?" you asked her. She looked around but couldn't see him. "Dunno," she shrugged. "Huh," you said, not too fazed by it. "I wanted to ask where he was going to apply. It would be cool to work with him." "Y'all know y'all have to work, right? You can't be doing the Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory at work." "Who calls it that?" you chuckled. "Literally no one calls it that." "I do," she replied with a devious grin. "You know Tamaki, right? He wouldn't try and pull that stunt," you defended him. "No, but you would," she replied with a look that said, "Don't even try and defend yourself. I know you." "Okay, fair," you replied, glancing around again. Okay, I'm gonna try and find him. Where will you be? I'll come find you after." "I'll be on the roof," she replied. "Hey, also, you wanna come to mine tonight? I leave soon." That vulnerable side of hers was starting to show again, and you nodded quickly. "Yeah, I'll be there." "Sweet," she said with a smile. You parted ways and went to the lockers to look for Tamaki, but he wasn't there, so went to the canteen area, but he wasn't there either. Where's he got to? You wondered, stopping by the staff room to see if he was there, but he wasn't. Confused and a little curious as to where he'd gone, you went to find your bestie to have lunch with her instead, hoping that he was okay. If he isn't in the afternoon class, I'll start a proper search, you thought. The second the bell had rung for lunch, Tamaki had left his seat and speed-walked quickly from the room, then speed-walked a tad faster down the hall, then broke into a run once outside. He checked his watch as he raced down the street, and then started running harder. "I need to get there before they go on lunch break," he thought urgently. "I need to get those matching rings." Rounding the corner, he tore towards the shop, seeing with horror that the lady was at the door, turning the open sign to closed, and his heart dropped. "No," he whispered as he ran. "No, wait, he called louder. The lady saw him running and paused, mid-sign switch. I'm sorry I'm late, but please, may I buy 2 rings? "We're about to go on lunch break. We open again at 1:30 p.m, she replied him. I'm so sorry. That's when I need to be back at my next class." His chest was rising and falling rapidly, and his tie was pulled loose a little so that it wasn't right up to his neck while he panted in ragged breaths. She pushed her lips into a straight line and exhaled sharply through her nose. She grunted, stepping back to let him in. Do you know which ones you want? Yes, ma'am, he nodded. I know exactly which ones I want. I won't take up too much of your time. She tried not to scowl, but she wasn't too impressed that he was shaving a minute or two into her lunchtime. Bowing a few times, he passed her and walked to the ring cabinet, eyes scanning the shelves quickly to find the rings. These two, please, he said softly, his fingertip pressed against the cold glass. Please don't touch the glass, she said firmly. My apologies, he said quickly, pulling his finger back and hanging his head with shame. She pulled the rings out and boxed them up, then placed them in the small carry bag and charged the items to the register. She gave him the price and he nodded, handing over all the money he'd been saving over the past few years. She took his money and counted it, then put it in the till and closed it with a bang. Receipts in the bag, she said briskly, then walked back around the counter and opened the door for him to leave. Goodbye, she gestured to the door. Rude much. Oh well, there ends chapter 100. Stay tuned for chapter 101 coming tomorrow.